this would be a good trigger. I trusted my intuition on that. Oh. And that's what I want to talk about. Intuition. I think it's a very powerful thing. And I think it's a very mysterious thing. Honestly, let me check let's check the official what's the intuition. What does the internet say what intuition is? Intuition, definition, meaning. Merriam-Webster. That's the one job they have. Making definitions. Okay. The power or faculty of attaining to direct knowledge or cognition without evident rational thought and inference. That's actually a pretty good one. Immediate apprehension or cognition, knowledge or conviction gained by intuition, quick and ready insight. That's actually that's not bad. The power, okay, I'm gonna read that again. Intuition, the first thing that comes up, the power or faculty of attaining to direct knowledge or cognition without evident rational thought and inference. Yeah. That's a pretty cool thing, don't you think? That's sort of what I mean by this, I talked about this a lot, this sort of search for yourself in yourself, this sort of trust in yourself, I guess, that you'll have the answer, I'm talking about that especially in making art. Like what happens when I recently did that. I had a really cool idea about the thing I'm writing, I'm gonna make an extra update on that later. But I had a cool idea to a problem I had. And as the idea came up, I felt it was great. I mean, great, maybe an overstatement, I had a problem, I had a good idea. And it was a bit of a, I stalled a bit. And, you sort of, that's part of the creative process, I think, so you sort of pick a bit of here and you put it together and you put your stuff in and then you find something that sort of makes everything tick. And yeah, I found that something. I think I found that something. And how do you know you found it? Well, you just know. There's nothing around that really. You just, because in the moment I did actually question myself, cause the solution I found meant that I would redo a lot of stuff I did earlier, and that's sort of a bummer, right? You sort of wanna, oh well, do I really have to, and do all of this again and stuff. But because the idea is good, it overrules it, and you have to go with it. And if I wouldn't have, if I would have clambered on to what, was already there, and I thought I knew about the story, then I would have maybe discarded that. I mean, actually, I don't believe if you really want to write a good story, it's not possible to do that. They will come back. The good ideas will come back, and the bad ideas will. If you really go with that, that's what I'm sort of doing with this intuitive process, this insight, instead of, looking everywhere else for your answers and stuff. Look at yourself. And that's sort of what intuition is, right? I think. I got this too. That's a book that meant a lot to me. That's actually very much about this subject. subtle knife and the amber spyglass. And yeah, it has a really cool cover. I think it's beautiful. And it looks big, but remember, 3 books. It has, yeah, look, I got the perfect page. With my intuition. That's one book. That's where the next starts. It's not that intimidating, you know. Yeah, it's not that intimidating. Cause I'm a slow reader actually, and this was one of the books that sort of got me to, yeah, get over myself basically and buy a bigger book, you know, because I was fond of the smaller ones because of, you know, I'm a slow reader, and this one sort of I got over the fear of, you know, these denser things. Back in the day, that was sort of, yeah, the first book, and I was like, I guess I was around 20, you know, and you could say I jumped over my shadow twice because this is known to be a children's book, you know, and yeah, I guess if you're over 20 and you're sort of a slow reader, you haven't read a lot, you know, you can kind of, I don't know, disqualify certain, I don't know, I got this idea that, yeah, I have to read really sophisticated stuff, you know, like Hamlet and stuff like that. But I chose this, and it was the right decision. I had a very emotional journey with this story, and it's because it speaks about a lot of these things, like it speaks about a lot of stuff that I knew to be true for myself as a kid, and sort of I tried to abandon as I grew up, which was a mistake. I shouldn't have done that, and thankfully I didn't succeed. And with this book I sort of approached it again, like this, yeah, this art of intuition really is what I want to call it, because I think it's a real process. It's a real, you know, I mean, yeah, I did this video earlier as well about this work I'm doing with it, and this is how much I believe in it. I really, I wanna sort of bet on it. That's the wrong word. I'm not betting, but I'm investing. Yeah, that's the right word. I'm investing in it, and I think it's beautifully described in this. There are passages in there that sort of, should I tap more? Should I tap more? Yeah, there are passages in there that give so much sense of this what's going on, you know, when you use intuition, that sort of describes it with this mixture of, you know, no spoilers, but in this world every person has like a demon, like but in a good sense, in like more like the old Greek sense of the word, like a voice of reason in all the noise around you, and you have to listen out for it. And yeah, in this world, that was my heating. For some reason it did that noise. Anyway, yeah, in this world, this demon is an animal. Like basically everyone has a spirit animal in real form. Like it appears out of thin air at birth and disappears into thin air at death. And I thought he used this mechanism of, you know, when you basically have a character that I guess represents the soul, you could say, the subconscious. And if you have it right in front of you and have a conversation, you can have a conversation with your, you know, deepest emotions, thoughts, whatever. It's such an interesting way to paint characters and the world around them. And yeah, a lot of parallels to how we I think it has a lot to to say about us, in effect. Yeah, it's one of these fantasy books that really, that don't just lift off into another world and just, go for the ride, that's also what it is. But, yeah, it really tells you something about the human condition. And I thought it did it in a wonderful way. And I also like the new books, although, that's not finished. This is basically the original trilogy, and he's writing like another trilogy around it. I have to say, like, one book is a prequel, another is a sequel. It's interesting how he plays with time in that way. But that's not finished. I can't really talk about it. But yeah, I love this one. This one's great. Yeah. Yeah. There's a passage in the new one that sort of I read last night, and that sort of resonated with me. Again, that's why I brought it up. Like the character, it's about a character that lost its imagination. Like, yeah, that's sort of befallen by this ill of seeing the world just as matter, with no spirit in it. Like, everything is just what you see and there's nothing else. And I do think that goes around at the moment, and I don't think it's very healthy. I don't think it's good to close that door completely. Even, I acknowledge that there are many ways to look at the world, and that all of them can be useful. So, if you look at the world in a very mechanistic, material way, I don't think that's bad. I think, there are plenty of places where this point of view is important, necessary, good. It gets stuff done. But if you completely exclude it from the conversation, that there's stuff in between, there's stuff we don't know about, then it's sort of, I think that's really not good. It's, yeah, you could say it, and it sort of, it diminishes a part of you in a way. I was reminded recently about all the stuff we don't know, and because we can't perceive them, by a medical study actually, and that's concrete stuff. They proved that certain rays of the sun actually, certain rays go through us, or into our, they sort of bounce around inside of us, these rays, and illuminate certain parts and certain organs, and they bounce around certain, like, it's and they activate this mechanism that's sort of built in. They sort of, like, these rays and certain chemical processes in our body are in harmony. Like, the rays trigger a certain mechanism that starts a healing process actually, and the rays interact with that, which I thought, that's incredible. I couldn't believe it when I tried to link that study below if I find it. I thought it was mind-blowing. Just, I never thought about light in that way, like that it can go through us. Of course it can. We know this, X-rays basically one of these. Yeah. But still, I didn't think about the sun in that way, and it's light healing us. I mean, if you'd say that, if you'd say that just like that, people would sort of probably discard you. Hey, did you know that the sun's rays heal your liver, your kidneys and stuff, and sort of regenerate your whole body? And you're sort of like, yeah, whatever. I is like, what's pseudoscience? Pseudoscience, you know. It sounds like a myth, doesn't it? It sounds like part of a myth or a belief of, a culture not surrounded by all the science and technology that we are. And I actually, yeah, a lot of these cultures did sort of pray to the sun or whatever. Maybe I'm going out on a limb here, but I'm saying, like, look at the language, the sun heals us versus there are these specific rays that do these specific things, and we're good at that. We're sort of, this technology really allowed us to take things apart, look at it very in a microscopic detail, and it illuminates the world. It's that's great, But on the other hand, I wouldn't discard another way of looking at the world, basically, and maybe coming to a conclusion just like that, just like the sun is healing you, but with another form of logic. I think that's absolutely possible. You see that in you actually can see that in Giordano Bruno's writing. Giordano Bruno was a man that was burned at the stakes. Big surprise, because he was revolutionary in his thinking. He was one of the first people that said that the stars in the sky were all individual suns with individual planets around. Or I don't know if he went that far, but he said, these are all suns. And they said, you're crazy. Let's burn you. That's basically that's what they said. Let's burn this dude. He says like stuff that I can't follow. I can't follow that. But if you read his writing and how he gets to certain conclusions, it's really beautiful. He basically does it with this. Yeah, I guess intuition plays a big part. I'd have to look at a lot of his writings again, but yeah, I'd say so. I'd say he comes to, it's logic in there, it's not like there's a through line, connecting all of that. But it's it's beautiful to look at how he gets to these points and these revelations with sort of this knowledge that is inside, that sort of comes out from somewhere. I wanted to say bigger than you, than, somewhere deeper than you, but it's actually, I think it's you. I think you're all of that. I think, because you're part of all of that. And, I hope I brought that around like I wanted to. But that's an interesting man to read up upon. Giordano Bruno, tragic story in the end, but also beautiful. He had big aspirations. He wanted to change the world, He basically wanted to bring all religions together, which I think that's a beautiful thought, but tough to do, especially in the times of the Inquisition. Damn. But I can see how intuition can really be just this other great tool to use to get to truth. I can't see why it can't be that. And it does it in a different way. Like, sure, I can't. Like, Giordano Bruno did his speech to sort of get to a conclusion to why these stars are suns, and science stuff, of course, you can look at it. You can look at it at another sun, basically, with telescopes and whatever. But yeah, I think intuition is sort of this thing that, yeah, if you define the path and sort of like heighten the resolution of reality with science, then, well, intuition does the same with sort of your internal, I don't know, I guess it does the same. I guess it really, it just it gets to it in a different way. I don't think you could really rank that stuff. Yeah, I wonder how these are related, you know. If one inspires the other, probably. But yeah, train your intuition. Really, I think it's a skill, and you can hone it. You can make it better. You can sort of, you know, because sometimes you cheat yourself. Let's be honest. Sometimes, you know, you say like, oh, I'm not feeling like going there today, and I think that's my intuition telling me that, and really, you're just a bit lazy today or something, and stuff like that. But I think you can really get to somewhere, and I think we have like real proof of that with people like Giordano Bruno, or just so many people say that stuff. Many artists, of course, but also scientists have like dreams about their issues that they're having, and then they come to a conclusion. And what else is that? If you know, I mean, yeah, you're going through it, and I mean, it's a lot of things interplaying, but yeah, I think, I'm talking about the art from an artist's perspective, I guess, but still, I think it's important. I mean, it's sort of linked to, yeah, if you trust yourself or not, you know. I think it's better if you trust yourself, if you trust just like I said, you know, I wrote this passage. How do I know if it's good or bad? Well, I read it. How do I feel about it? Yeah. Okay, delete it then, you know. No ifs and buts about it. Don't intellectualize it. Say, well, it's better than most I read, you know. That's not good enough. It has to do something. It has to, you know, get you, move you, you know, do something emotionally. And you have to feel that, you know. And you have to trust that feeling. Yeah, that's why I come back to this. This is sort of a discussion about this, really. Yeah, and a consciousness as a whole, and much more. But yeah, I feel like every time someone talks with their demon, they talk with, you know, they have this intuition thing is basically, yeah, it feels a bit like a dialogue often, you know. Like when I write this passage and I think about it, it feels like a dialogue. Like as if I'm talking to my demon. Like I just did, you know. Is it good? Is it not? And you sort of weigh, and you sort of try to get to that the truth. Yeah, your own. But in effect, obviously, someone else's as well, you know. It's gonna connect to someone else as well. I really trust in that. And you can listen to a lot of artists talking exactly like that. That's not something new. I hear that all the time. And yet I don't see it all the time, you know. I don't know. I guess that's why I wanted to share it. Well, you know, whatever. this again. Historic materials. I really like it if you're interested in this stuff. You know, you don't have to take it too seriously. If you just want to read a fantasy book, that's fine as well. But I think there's a lot in there. So, yeah. Let me know if you know the book, if you liked it or whatever. And well, I'll see you in the next one. Maybe don't let me know. You know, I don't want to end this with these like standard YouTube endings, like and comment. You know, let me know what you thought about this video. You know, if you know, that's the point of this video. You know, if you want to know, let me know about this. You know, if you want to make a comment, make a comment. I'll leave this up to you. So, all right. Okay. See ya. You do you. See ya.